Hello everyone. I'd like to give a warm welcome to everybody out there. As you know, my name is Renee and you're watching Renee's Health Corner. And believe it or not, God really does care about your health. Last year, just about anywhere you looked, sickness and disease was on the rise. In the United States, someone had a heart attack every 40 seconds. 1.4 million Americans are diagnosed with diabetes every single year. And 1 in 2 people will get cancer in their lifetime. There's also a rise in the number of strokes per year, gastrointestinal problems, lung conditions, lupus, multiple sclerosis, and a host of many other diseases. The question is, why? Well, many people believe God is to blame, but is that really the case? In 3 John verse 2, we're told that God wants us to prosper and to be in health. So if he wants us to be in health, and disease is more rampant than ever before, we need to investigate and figure out what's going on. Now, I'd like to bring something to your mind for just a moment, something we've all learned in our lives at some point growing up, and that is in the world we have many different types of laws. We have civil law, natural law, the law of physics, sanitary laws, the laws of gravity, etc. Take the law of gravity, for example. We all know that what goes up must come down. Well, there's other laws known as natural laws. And when these laws are neglected in any way, the result is sickness and disease. And over a period of time of neglecting these natural laws, more severe diseases like cancer can set in. So anyway, all the information that I'm going to share with you today is supported by the Bible, the Spirit of Prophecy, and good medical science. Good medical science is science that agrees with God, the Bible, and the Spirit of Prophecy. If it doesn't agree with the Bible and the Spirit of Prophecy, it's not good science. So anyway, I don't ask for you to purchase anything. I just ask that you have a good listening ear so that what you learn you can share with others, and maybe you can help someone with something that they have someday to help them get better. Now, I've been covering the subject of nutrition, which I said is going to take a while because there's a lot to cover in that. Last time I went over the dangers of flesh food, and today's video is going to be the subject of breakfast, the most important meal of the day. Now, in the Bible, we're counseled to eat that which is good in Isaiah 55:2, and the word good means that which is best. Now, I want to share a couple quotes with you before I get started. Psalms 103:4-5 says, "Who redeemeth thy life from destruction? Who satisfieth thy mouth with good things?" And then also, too little attention is generally given to the preservation of health. It is far better to prevent disease and than to know how to treat it when it's contracted. It is the duty of every person for his own sake and for the sake of humanity to inform himself in regard to the laws of life and conscientiously to obey them. We're also told that education should be given on proper diet in CD 406, paragraph 4, Oh, and the last quote was Ministry of Healing 128. Now, that's my goal here, is to try to educate people on proper diet so that they don't have to have all these sicknesses and get diseases. Now, we're also told in Ministry of Healing, page 127, that disease is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from the violation of a law of health. In case of sickness, the cause should be ascertained, unhealthful conditions should be changed, wrong habits corrected, then nature is to be assisted in her effort to expel impurities and to reestablish right conditions in the system. Pure air, sunlight, abstemiousness, rest, exercise, proper diet, the use of water, trust in divine power. These are the true remedies. So we need to become more intelligent in regard to the laws of life, we're told in 11 MR 187. And we're also told it is the duty of every person for his own sake and for the sake of humanity to inform himself in regard to the laws of life and conscientiously to obey them. And we should educate ourselves not only to live in harmony with the laws of health, but to teach others a better way, and that's CG 361, paragraph 2. So anyway, what does the Bible and the Spirit of Prophecy and medical science all have to say about breakfast? Well, we're going to get started now. Jesus showed the importance of eating breakfast. John 21, 4 through 6 and 10 and 12 says, "But when the morning was now come, Jesus stood on the shore. But the disciples knew not that it was Jesus. Then Jesus saith unto them, Children, have ye any meat?" Which means food. And they answered him, No. And he said unto them, Cast the net on the right side of the ship, and ye shall find. They cast therefore, and now they were not able to draw it for the multitude of fishes. As soon as they were come to land, they saw a fire of coals there, and fish laid thereon, and bread. And Jesus said unto them, Bring of the fish which ye now caught. And Jesus said unto them, Come and dine. Dine is a verb intransitive, and it means in Latin to cease, in Greek to feast, to eat the chief meal of the day. So there you go. Spirit of Prophecy says it is the custom and order of society to take a slight breakfast, but this is not the best way to treat the stomach. The habit of eating a sparing breakfast and a large dinner is wrong. CD 173, paragraph 2. Breakfast is to be the heartiest meal of the day. We're told in CD 173 also that at breakfast time, the stomach is in a better condition to take care of more food than at the second or third meal of the day. So make your breakfast correspond more nearly to the heartiest meal of the day. So we're not to pattern after stereotype breakfasts either. We're told on page 259, Counsels on Diet and Food, you will see, as we have in our experience, the stereotype breakfast. Porridge, as it's called. We call it mush, baker's bread, and some kind of sauce. Now, those after eating in this kind of way for months, knowing what will appear before them at every meal, come to dread the hour, which should be interesting to them as the dreaded period of the day. So this would include not having a liquid diet for breakfast, as well as such like smoothies and blended drinks. I mean, it's okay once in a great while, but many, many people do it day after day after day, and that's not good. And Counsels on Diet and Foods, page 105, says, You have educated the stomach to this kind of diet. This, your judgment has taught you, was the best because you realized the least disturbance from it. But this was not a correct experience. Your stomach was not receiving that vigor that it should from your food. Taken in a liquid state, your food would not give healthful vigor or tone to the system. You should educate your stomach to bear a more solid diet. So there you have it from the Spirit of Prophecy, not to be doing all this liquid stuff for your breakfast all the time. We're not to have mushes and porridges day after day. Some people eat oatmeal every single day. That's not good either. Not that it's wrong to have oatmeal, but not every single day. We need solid foods in the morning, and it helps also with having good bowel movements. So we're not to eat bread only as a meal and drink coffee. Counsel on Diet Foods, page 105 says, living principally on coffee and bread was not health reform. So why do most people skip breakfast anyway? Well, Ministry of Healing, page 303 says, as a result of eating late suppers, the digestive process is continued through the sleeping hours. But though the stomach works constantly, its work is not properly accomplished. The sleep is often disturbed with unpleasant dreams, and in the morning, the person awakes unrefreshed and with little relish for breakfast. When we lie down to rest, the stomach should have its work all done. That is, as well as the other organs of the body may enjoy rest. So another reason people skip breakfast is because they wake up late maybe and they're in a big hurry and out the door. They don't get up in time to prepare a nice breakfast. And we shouldn't send our children to school without breakfast either. Many children go to school without breakfast. CG's, which is Child Guidance, page 390 says, your child, never let her go from home to school without her breakfast. So anyway, CH 566 says our workers should use their knowledge of the laws of life and health. They should study from cause to effect, read the best authors on these subjects, and obey religiously that which your reason tells you is truth. In other words, if you have a good medical science article about good foods for the brain and it lists blueberries, grains, nuts, etc., and even fish, we know, according to the spirit of prophecy, we're not to eat fish. So disregard that part about the fish, but glean all the other information, because blueberries and grains and nuts are excellent for us. So even medical science has articles regarding how important breakfast is and not to skip it. On Yahoo, it says, have you ever heard anyone say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day? Well, if you have, know that they're right. Breakfast truly is the most important meal of the day. Here are 5 reasons why you should join the millions of people who eat breakfast each and every morning. Okay? Reason number 1, there's a brand new day ahead of you every morning, and eating breakfast can help you to have a great day. Our bodies cannot run on empty until lunchtime. How many people eat a really healthy breakfast? Well, when our bodies do not have proper nutrition, they do not function to their fullest. You're probably thinking about food about 10 o'clock in the morning, and stomach's grumbling and complaining it's hungry, and you're like, oh, I got 2 more hours till lunch, or whatever, whenever your lunchtime is. And so we don't feel good if we don't eat breakfast. No one wants to not feel good half the day, and we're not as productive either when we feel like that, okay? Reason number 2, our energy level. Breakfast gives our bodies nutrition and substance. This is where our energy comes from. People who don't eat breakfast have considerably less energy than people who do eat breakfast. Think about it. Breakfast is a meal after dinner. We eat dinner, then sleep through the night. That's 8 or more hours without eating. Our bodies need to be nourished in the morning. They've gone without food for hours. If we don't eat in the morning, our bodies aren't able to produce the energy we need for the day. Okay? Reason number 3, concentration. People who do not eat breakfast often have a hard time concentrating. They also have difficulty learning because they are scatterbrained. People who do eat breakfast tend to be much more focused on the task at hand, and they do not have trouble concentrating nearly as much as those who do not eat breakfast. We think a lot each day, and this is really, really something that we need to think about if you're not eating breakfast. Okay, reason number 4. Your mood. Did you know that hunger can cause mood swings and irritability? So can running on empty. Your body is lacking something. This affects your whole system. People who do eat breakfast tend to be much less irritable than those who do not. They tend to be in a better mood. And no one around you wants you to be crabby and irritable, and no one likes it when people have these mood swings. So do yourself and those around you a favor every day and eat your breakfast. All right, one more reason, number 5. Breakfast is at the beginning of the day. Families can sit down and enjoy this meal together, mostly, grasping a little bit of quality time in the morning. And breakfast can help you have a great day in more ways than one. What a better way to start your day. Breakfast is truly the most important meal of the day, and there are many, many more reasons why. I just gave you 5. Start your day off right as a family. It's really important to eat breakfast with your children and for them to have breakfast because they're going to school or whatever they're going to be doing. They need that nutrition. And so anyway, you can be a good example by eating with them. All right, now here's some of the dangers of skipping breakfast. It causes you to eat later in the day. It causes people to exercise less. They get fatigue, fuzzy thinking, headaches, heart problems, high cholesterol, increase alcohol consumption, increases their smoking if they're smoking, increases the chance for tooth decay in children, increases stress levels, and lack of memory recall, low blood sugar, nutritional shortcomings, obesity, and weight gain. Now, there's going to be some links below where you can read some of this about the dangers of skipping breakfast. I'll have the links below. And then also now I'm going to tell you about the benefits of eating a healthy breakfast. We've covered some of that, of course, but it aids in weight loss, makes you more alert, it balances your blood sugars, you have better hand and eye coordination, better problem-solving skills, decreases your stress levels, gives you energy, improves your memory and your concentration, improves performance in the class and when taking a test, those who are in school. It lowers your cholesterol levels, makes you more creative, more physically active, and more productivity. Okay, I'll have some links below too that you can read about the benefits of eating a healthy breakfast. Now, a nutritional breakfast should always consist of complex carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Some quick and healthy breakfast ideas include oatmeal with fresh fruit and whole grain toast, or whole grain waffles or pancakes with fresh fruit. Cold cereal that's high in fiber and low in sugar with some type of nut seed or grain, a grain milk, plant-based milk, and fresh berries. You can have whole grain toast with peanut butter and applesauce. That's one of our favorites. And a couple pieces of fruit. You can have biscuits and homemade bread made without baking soda or baking powder, of course, and have fruit with that or gravy. Another favorite of ours is we like to mash up avocado and put it on toast. And you can sprinkle flaxseed on top or chia seeds or eat cucumber with it and tomato, and that's really good too. And now, like I said, oatmeal and cream of wheat are okay, but they shouldn't be eaten day after day after day. Now, Councils on Diet and Foods, page 259, paragraph 4 says, you will see, as we have in our experience, the stereotype breakfast, porridge as it is called. We call it mush baker's bread and some kind of sauce. Now, those after eating in this kind of way for months, knowing what will appear before them at every meal, come to dread the hour, which should be interesting to them as a dreaded period of the day. How do you think your children would be excited when they come to the table and it's like oatmeal again or toast again? I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. You don't want to eat the same thing day after day after day. Have a variety. Okay, and then we talked about a liquid drink and some type of bread isn't sufficient for breakfast. A lot of people have a piece of toast and a cup of coffee or a cup of juice. That's not sufficient. Here's a quote. CD 105 paragraph 3 says, their breakfast consisted of coffee and bread with the addition of prune sauce. This was not healthful. The stomach after rest and sleep was better able to take care of a substantial meal than when wearied with work. So choose your breakfast recipes such that they focus on a blend of protein and carbohydrates. Hearty carbohydrates will give that boost of energy to jumpstart your day. A mix of protein will be the staying power to keep your body going strong over the next 5 or 6 hours until lunch. And be sure to have cooked grains and then have some nuts or seeds and fruit with your breakfast too. Now, we're told that grains used for porridge or mush, like oatmeal, cream of wheat, should have several hours of cooking. Now, that doesn't mean you cook it for several hours, but what you do, you have to kill the phytic acid. And so what I do is when I buy oats, I put them on a baking sheet or in a baking pan and put them in the oven at a temperature between 170 and 180 for 3 hours and bake them. Now, you can put several grains in the oven at once and they're all the same. They just have to be baked for at least 3 hours. And then when you go to cook them, you just cook them as you normally would. If you cook it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes, that's fine. But I just bake all my grains for 3 hours, no matter what. Then I don't have to worry about it. And I just let it cool completely, then put it in a container and mark it, that it's already been baked. So I buy, oats in 25-pound bags, so obviously I can't do them all at once, but I do a couple 5-pound, a couple Ziploc gallon baggies, so that's probably about 10 pounds. Anyway, the grain that you can have for breakfast could be brown rice pudding, French toast, granola is excellent. That really holds you over too. Oatmeal, like I said before, and waffles and pancakes, cream of wheat. You can have some good healthy muffins too. Make some good nice muffins, and your protein could be nuts, any kind of nuts you like. Don't eat the same ones every day. Switch them up. Have almonds one day, cashews the next, pecans, walnuts, whatever. You can have peanuts. You can have peanut butter, scrambled tofu. You can have a tofu omelet. But when you're eating nuts, remember you only eat a closed fistful. So your fist, has to be closed with no nuts seeping out. And that's how many nuts you eat. And that's different for everybody because, everybody has a different size hand. Men need more than women. Their hands are bigger. And now when you're eating seeds like chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, or flaxseed, you have 2 tablespoons. But make sure they're raw. And if you're eating flaxseed, it has to be ground like 10 minutes before you're going to eat it. Don't grind it up and put it in the fridge and save it because it will lose most of its nutritional value. So it has to be freshly ground. Now, We don't want to eat fried potatoes either for breakfast. Many people do that. That's not good. Per Spirit of Prophecy, we shouldn't be eating fried anything. So here's a quote. Council on Diet and Foods, page 323 says, "We do not think fried potatoes are healthful, for there is more or less grease or butter used in preparing them. Good baked or boiled potatoes served with cream and a sprinkling of salt are the most healthful. The remnants of Irish and sweet potatoes are prepared with a little cream and salt and rebaked and not fried. They are excellent." Of course, back in her day, cream was okay to use, but today it's not safe to use it. Now, we can also have spaghetti for breakfast. Here's a quote. Council on Diet Foods, page 324, paragraph 1 says, "I have vermicelli tomato soup one meal and greens the next." So another quote from Child Guidance says, "All meals should not be composed of the same kinds of foods without variation. Food should be prepared with simplicity, yet with nicety, which will invite the appetite." Okay, so as I said before, you can have, here's some breakfast ideas. Cashew barley pancakes, orange blueberry pancakes, blueberry muffins. You can have banana muffins. You can have, crepes, apple oat waffles, French toast, granola, cold cereal. You can buy a lot of healthy cereals out there. There's a lot of good cereals out there that aren't full of sugar. And if they are sweetened, they're sweetened with unrefined sugar. You can have scrambled tofu or breakfast burrito. You can have, take that tofu and wrap it up in a tortilla and put some tomato on it or whatever, You can also have crisp, different kinds of crisp, apple crisp, blackberry crisp, cherry crisp, peach crisp. You can make your own vegan yogurt. There's recipes out there to make yogurt, and you can put fruit in that. You can also have, like I said before, biscuits and gravy, muffins, date muffins, banana muffins, cornbread muffins, and then put some maple syrup on with some homemade butter or some jam or whatever you like. And you can have apple turnovers, lemon pie, banana splits. I have a recipe for banana splits where you put oatmeal in the bowl. Then you put 3 different kinds of fruit like blueberries, strawberries, pineapple. Then I put some carob sauce that I make on top and sprinkle some peanuts and some whipped cream. And that is delicious. And that's a very healthy, nice breakfast. You can have pineapple cheesecake for breakfast. You can have millet, that's another excellent grain to eat. And you can even make some breakfast bars. There's different kinds of breakfast bars you can make. I'm going to find it. You can have granola bars or date squares or pineapple date squares. Those are good. You can have apple oat bars, blackberry bars, fruit and oatmeal bars. Another one is called Forever Young bars, but I'd have to give you that recipe. But anyway, there's lots of things you can do for breakfast. Another thing you can do for breakfast is a vegetable meal. I do that sometimes, especially in the summer. I don't want to eat vegetables in the afternoon. In the afternoon, when I have my second meal, I want watermelon or cantaloupe or some kind of fruit, something that's more not so hot, when it's 90 degrees outside. I'll have my fruit meal in the afternoon and eat my vegetables in the morning when it's cooler. Something else to keep in mind, large population studies show that those who eat breakfast daily live longer than those who tend to skip breakfast. Don't you want to live longer? Eating regular meals, especially breakfast, every day is a good health habit. Breakfast kickstarts your metabolism, provides fuel for your mind, cuts down on snacking. You don't need to snack if you have a good breakfast. You shouldn't be snacking anyway. It's not healthy. Most snack foods are high in calories and fat and sugar and salt anyway, if you're eating that kind of junk. Even an apple's not good to eat between meals. So some people skip breakfast in an effort to lose weight, but the practice is more likely to cause weight gain than weight loss. Skipping breakfast is strongly linked to the development of obesity. Studies show that overweight and obese children, adolescents, and adults are less likely to break the fast each morning than their thinner counterparts. And that's from WebMD. So We need to wait 5 to 6 hours when we finish our meal before we start the next. Ministry of Healing, page 304 says, after disposing of one meal, the digestive organs need rest. At least 5 or 6 hours should intervene between the meals. And that's after you finish eating, not from the time you start. If you want to go from the time you start, you can do 6 hours. But from the time you finish, then you need to wait 5 hours. So there's a health article showing that morning cereal, the sugar-free, food coloring-free kind, the healthy kind, can boost concentration studies, and I'll have that link below. Now, the time of ignorance God winked at, but as fast light shines upon us, he requires us to change our health-destroying habits and place ourselves in a right relation to physical laws. And that's Counsels on Diet and Foods, page 19. Well, that's our time for today. I hope that what you heard on here will be a blessing to you and your family. And until we meet again, may the good Lord bless and keep you throughout the week. And remember, God loves you and he wants you to be in health. So eat that which is good. Amen. God bless. Bye-bye.